Welcome to the deep dive. If you are tracking the speed of business today, you know the acceleration of digital transformation is, well, it's just staggering.
It feels almost vertical.
It does,
Mm.
especially everything driven by artificial intelligence. We see organizations pouring massive investments into these shiny new systems, a new AI engine or a huge enterprise resource planning overhaul.
Hmm.
But here's the painful part we see again and again. So many of those projects completely miss their promised ROI.
Right.
It's because the human element just wasn't ready. The technology works, but the people, they either don't use it or they use it badly.
And that is precisely the gap we are diving into today.
Okay.
You send us a fascinating stack of sources that, well, they completely redefine the historical role of change management.
They really do.
Our mission here is to take OCM, organizational change management, and move it out of what I'd call the cleanup crew phase.
Ah, I like that. The cleanup crew.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can no longer be just a reactive function, managing resistance after the tech has already been built.
Yeah.
It has to become an active, strategic capability
One that's focused on what?
on architecting the transformation from the very beginning.
And that strategic shift brings us to the core, really provocative idea that underpins all of these sources. That change doesn't just happen to an organization.
No.
It's architected.
Exactly. And look, this isn't just wordplay. It's a necessary strategic realignment.
So what's the fundamental challenge here?
The fundamental challenge, the thing that tanks these huge multi-million-dollar transformations, is that organizations get tunnel vision. They focus only on the flawless execution of the code, the AI build, the new CRM.
Right, the tech side.
But they ignore the necessary and frankly intricate alignment of three things: people, processes, and technology.
And if those three pieces aren't designed to evolve together,
The investment is wasted. You go straight to low adoption and that frustrating feeling that the tech is too hard or, not worth the effort.
So let's unpack this new role then. When we talk about moving beyond traditional change management, what does adopting this architecture mindset truly entail? Is this just a new name for a chief transformation officer, or is it something different?
The scope is different because the deliverable is different. A chief transformation officer sets the strategy. The change architect executes the design.
Ah, okay.
This new mindset, it means focusing ruthlessly on a measurable outcome, clarity and adoption that actually lasts.
So when we say architecture,
We mean a systemic design approach. It's one that blends proven, traditional OCM with the critical elements of today's digital world, so intelligent automation, streamlined workflows, and strategies built for constant change.
I really like that word you used, systemic. It implies you're designing a whole new environment.
That's it.
The sources talk about the goal being to architect better systems for a smarter future by designing adaptive ecosystems. Tell us a bit more about what makes an ecosystem adaptive.
An adaptive ecosystem is one where the entire organization can absorb, integrate, and actually use new technology repeatedly.
Without a total meltdown every time.
Exactly, without a catastrophic system shutdown or massive resistance every single time. And to design that, the sources say the architecture requires unifying three core disciplines that used to be in their own silos.
So they can't just operate in parallel. They have to be truly integrated. What are those three fields?
Okay, they are.
Right.
First, behavioral science. Second, organizational development, or OD. And third, intelligent automation, which is really our umbrella term for AI and workflow automation tools.
That is a fascinating blend. It's like you need the psychologist, the structural engineer, and the coder all working off the same blueprint.
That's a great way to put it.
So let's talk about that intersection. How does behavioral science, for example, contribute to the architecture rather than just managing resistance?
Well, behavioral science moves us beyond just managing resistance to actually designing for trust and motivation.
Okay, so being proactive.
Completely proactive. Think about it. An employee won't adopt a new AI tool if they don't trust its output, right?
Sure.
Or if the new process triggers some kind of inherent psychological bias against risk. Behavioral science gives us the framework to design incentives, nudges, and communication that make the new behavior easier and more rewarding than the old one.
So it handles the individual human adoption part of it.
Yes, it ensures the system is actually used and used reliably.
Okay, so what about organizational development? How does that piece stop the whole structure from just falling apart under the pressure?
OD is the structural engineer in your analogy. Its role in the architecture is to make sure that the roles, the governance, the incentives, the reporting lines, all of it are capable of sustaining the change.
Can you give an example?
Sure. If you introduce a hyper-efficient AI system, But the OD hasn't streamlined the team structure to handle that new, faster decision-making cadence.
Ah,
The AI's output just gets stuck. It bottlenecks in the old, slow hierarchy. OD makes sure the organization's wiring can actually handle the power of the new technology.
And then intelligent automation, the AI itself, is the third leg. I suppose that's the easiest one to define. It's the tech that delivers the new capability.
It is a capability driver, yes, but the architect's job is to ensure that automation is designed for human interaction and scale.
It's not just bolted on.
Never. We're not just bolting on a generative AI tool. We're architecting how that AI interacts with the user interface, how it feeds back into the process design. The goal is that people, their processes, and the tech evolve together seamlessly.
That makes the change architect sound, well, indispensable. It's the unifying vision that ensures these three powerful forces aren't just colliding with each other.
It's the glue.
Here's where we get to the concrete stuff, the deliverables. How do these architects actually build these adaptive ecosystems? Let's get into the 5 foundational pillars that the sources say are essential.
Right, this is just philosophy.
No, these are the things they have to produce.
And these 5 pillars are really the blueprints for a system that is both scalable and trustworthy. The first one is absolutely crucial. Change-first strategies.
Change first.
This means that OCM input is not an appendix to the IT strategy. It has to be foundational to it. You have to align leadership, stakeholders, and end users from the very, very beginning.
So that implies embedding the change architect right in the strategic design phase, maybe years before go-live date.
It has to be.
What does a change-first strategy look like in practice, especially with something as fast-moving as an AI project?
It means you're answering the adoption questions before the development even starts.
Okay.
So for an AI project, it means defining right there the initial product charter. Which decisions will the AI make? Which decisions will the human still own? And how are we going to build trust? If the OCM team isn't helping define the scope, it's already too late.
Got it. What's the second pillar?
The second pillar focuses on process design. We've touched on this, but it's worth repeating. Complexity is the enemy of adoption. If a new system makes a user click 4 extra screens or complicates an old workflow, that user will just revert to the old way. It doesn't matter how powerful the tech is. The architect's job is to simplify complexity to accelerate adoption.
And the third pillar is so central to our world right now, AI-powered and automated solutions.
Yes, these are essential for scale, but the architecture has to prevent what we call digital overload.
Right, just adding another tool to the pile.
The solutions have to scale organizational efficiency without overwhelming the individual workforce. The focus is always on making the job easier, more insightful, or faster.
Okay, that makes sense. And pillar number 4.
Fourth, change architects deliver user-centered training and support journeys. This is about mastery, not just tutorials. It's vital for driving confidence and capability.
So not just a one-off webinar.
Definitely not. If you have a complex system, the training has to be experiential, continuous, and integrated right into the workflow, not some mandatory online course you take once a year. It should feel like a supportive journey for the user.
And finally, we get to the engine that makes all of this adaptive.
That's the 5th pillar, analytics and feedback loops. These loops are the organization's nervous system. They must be designed to actively measure real-world adoption rates, pinpoint friction points instantly, and then force the adaptation of your strategies in real time.
So if, say, 80% of your sales team is bypassing a new field in the CRM?
The analytics have to flag that immediately, so the process or the training can be adjusted, making sure the ecosystem stays truly adaptive.
It sounds like the change architect is essentially designing the organization's own learning mechanism.
They are. They're creating the very structure for continuous evolution.
Let's shift gears a little bit and explore a really compelling way the source material framed all this. One section used these fantastic analogies to explain why OCM is essential to get the most out of AI and user experience, or UX.
It's a powerful visual for sure.
It really highlights the symbiosis between them.
Let's start with the stage performance analogy. So imagine a major digital transformation is a grand theatrical production you're trying to put on.
Okay, a big show. In this scenario, where does AI fit in?
AI is the script. It contains all the intelligence, the data-driven dialogue, and the direction for the whole story. It sets the plot in motion.
And the UX, that's what the audience, or in this case the employee, actually sees and interacts with.
Exactly. UX is the set design and the lighting. It makes the whole experience immersive, intuitive, easy to navigate. A brilliant script delivered on a dark, cluttered stage is just unusable.
Right. UX makes the environment functional and appealing. And this is where the change architect comes in.
That's right. Change management is the director.
The director.
The director ensures that every single actor, each employee, not only knows their specific lines and cues, but also feels confident in their performance, understands why they're saying those lines, and delivers them at the perfect moment.
And without that director, the script just falls flat. We've all seen productions where the cast looks confused, even with a brilliant script.
That is the key takeaway. You could have the best AI in the world and the most intuitive interface, but if the director, the OCM, isn't there to align the actors and create confidence, the production is just chaos.
The actors start improvising.
Which means reverting to old, inefficient processes.
Sure.
Every time.
That leads perfectly into the second analogy, which gets into that crucial need for trust. This is the brain-body-mind connection.
This one, I think, really highlights the difference between pure intelligence and actual wisdom.
Okay.
In this framework, AI is the brain, constantly processing, learning from data, making predictions. It's pure processing power.
And the UX is the physical expression of that power.
Precisely. UX is the body. This is the mechanism that delivers the output. It's the physical touch point, the input fields, the dashboards, the notifications.
And the critical bridge, the often missing link that determines if the whole thing works or not.
That is the change management, which is the mindset.
The mindset.
The mindset decides how the organization responds to the information the brain provides. Will they trust the system's prediction or ignore it? How will they adapt their daily behaviors based on what the system is telling them?
So if the AI brain processes data and tells the body, the UX, to deliver a prediction, but the past mindset has taught the employee not to trust AI.
The employee just overrides the system. The body moves against the brain's instruction.
You've hit the nail on the head. Intelligence alone doesn't create motion or value.
Alignment across all three systems does. And the mindset, that trust and behavioral adaptation driven entirely by robust OCM, is the critical link between the technical parts. It's why the change architect has become the most critical designer in the whole transformation.
It's a completely different way to frame the job. So what does this architectural approach mean for you, the listener? If you're trying to implement one of these transformations right now, where should you be focusing? What are the actionable service areas to prioritize?
The sources outline 3 key service areas. And these aren't just departments, they're the active zones where the change architect really delivers value.
Okay.
The first is system adoption and implementation support. This is all about maximum utilization. We have to move past asking, did we install the system?
Right.
To asking, are 95% of our users leveraging 80% of its capability? This is where that user-centered training and process simplification really pay off.
This ensures you get true ROI, not just a deployed piece of tech.
Absolutely. The second service area is automation and AI enablement. Change is happening so fast, and as the sources say, automation can help you keep up.
But only if it's trusted.
Exactly. It only happens if the automation is trustworthy. The architect must ensure that AI is embedded into simplified processes from the beginning, not just bolted onto a confusing old process. You enable AI by making it human-centric.
And the third area brings us right back to the beginning.
It does. Strategic design and leadership alignment.
Non-negotiable.
Completely. Without leadership alignment on those change-first strategies, the new system will lack the organizational mandate it needs. The architects have to be engaged with the C-suite to design smarter systems and make sure leaders understand their own role in driving that new mindset.
That's a powerful distinction. So, a quick recap of our deep dive. Digital transformation today demands that change be systematically architected.
Right.
It's a blend of behavioral science, intelligent automation, and user experience, all driven and directed by that vital mindset component of OCM. The change architect ensures the system is trustworthy and scalable, moving the whole conversation away from just managing resistance to proactively designing positive transformation.
And if success really hinges on that alignment across systems, the brain, the body, and the mindset, this leaves you, the listener, with a final provocative question to think about. What legacy components in your organization are currently acting as an unaligned skeleton or a poor stage for your newest AI script? You need to identify where that critical alignment between technology and human behavior is fundamentally missing.
Something to mull over as you draw up your next transformation blueprint. If you want true adoption and success, it sounds like you need an architect, not just a manager.
That's the takeaway.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We hope this gives you a clearer blueprint for building a smarter, more adaptive future.